Hello, my name is Ruta and I'm emotional well-being practitioner, trauma integration specialist and holistic womb healing enthusiast. And the topic that I wanted to talk to you today is quite sensitive and for whatever the reason is also quite taboo subject. And I have only recently realized that this is actually quite a taboo subject to talk about because I have experienced the situation myself. So the topic is miscarriage. How do we heal this? Recently I have been pregnant and it was intentional pregnancy. I'm on my way of becoming a mother and it's a very exciting journey. However, I actually also experienced what I only recently found out many women experience and don't really talk about. At approximately 8 weeks, I had a miscarriage. And it was very physically and emotionally painful experience. It was also quite blindsiding experience. It was also experience that made me feel quite out of control. Especially in my personal circumstances, physically, there is nothing wrong with me. So, or nothing that doctors can look at your body or at your blood results and can say, this is because of that or this is because of that. So none of that. And the pregnancy itself was really easy, really pain-free, no morning sickness, no bad symptoms. Nothing that would make me think that is something can be very wrong, except I had tiny little of bleeding happening now and then, but the amounts were so small that when I did my research I realized it's actually quite normal and lots of women experience that. However, on the day when I experienced the miscarriage, I actually felt something was off, and I do what I do sometimes when I need to find information, because I work in a holistic way and I use quite a bit of intuitive insight in understanding what's going on. So in my case, I actually tuned into my womb and I could see a big chaos going on in there. The color red, the circular motions, no direction, dark type of influence energies. So I could, not that I would think, oh my God, that means some kind of, dark forces or anything, but from holistic type of work and integration, to me, it means, okay, something is either coming to the place of ending, or it could be end of a cycle. It could be to do with death, and death in my personal vocabulary is kind of death and the end of a cycle. So sometimes death of relationship, death of a partnership, death of a project, death of a pattern, death of a personality. It's indication of one cycle finishing and new starting. So from astrology and from symbolic meaning, it's the Scorpio, it's the Phoenix, it's is the winter season, is the night, is the also creative vortex of femininity. So because I work a lot with the womb and I do this in a kind of holistic sense, I was keeping quite close connection to my womb and also my environment. So I was monitoring that quite consciously throughout my pregnancy. However, I have not foreseen this and I did not expect to have to go through this. And when I did, it was physically, it was one very extreme night that I had to go through, and very scary day after that. There was lots of fear, there was lots of feelings of being completely out of control, there was lots of feelings of not being able to control your body and what's happening with your body. And there were some feelings of what's wrong with me, why this is happening, what's happening, and also hoping at the same time that everything is going to be somehow fine, that people who talk on internet and say that it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be something that is going to end in a worst case scenario, they are right and I'm wrong. However, in my case, it was the worst case scenario for someone who wants to have a baby. It took me at least 1 week to start to feel kind of accepting of that, and consider the fact that I am emotional well-being worker, that I am a holistic healing practitioner, and that I am also holistic womb healing practitioner. So I have all of this knowledge, I have all of this practice up my sleeves, and yet it was pretty hard experience to go through. One thing that was most shocking to me personally was when I shared with my friends and acquaintances about this, there were so many who said, me too, that actually happened to me too. So most of my friends actually experienced that, friends who have kids now, and everyone else who did not experience that, all those women who didn't say, oh yeah, that happened to me too, probably with the exception of 2, said that they knew someone who experienced that. So it was pretty shocking to me how I felt so lonely, because I didn't really know that this is actually, it's way more common and it's happening to people that you know way more often than they would share that. And I think only reason why they shared that with me, because I was so open, this has happened. And I was also open about my pregnancy from quite early stage, and said I'm pregnant and this is what's happening. And therefore after that happened, it's like, oh my god, yeah, that happened to me too, that happened to me twice, that happened to me in between my kids, and so on and so on. So yeah, so this message is actually, and this sharing is vulnerable feminine type of energy sharing, where I wanted to tell all of those women who are going through that, have gone through that, or have not still processed that you are not on your own. There are many of us, and there are some very good stories that woman comes out of this experience pretty healthy, pretty happy, and with healthy babies too, if they want to. So yeah, let's not be quiet. Let's share our joy, let's share our pain, and if there is something that you want to share, please let me know. And have a nice day.